Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And a very pleasant good morning to you. It is Wednesday, my dear friends. And you know what? It's hump day. And I always tell you, oh, wow, let's exhale partially because it's all downhill from here in. I welcome you into the hottest spot in town where we talk about those difficult conversations. But you can do that and feel safe while you do it right here. I encourage you, as always, to be a part of the conversation. I believe that when we talk about something, when we have the opportunity to, I'll say, discuss, that's how we can come up with better solutions. And that's why I invite you in every single day right here on Sunshine's Corner. Remember that number, 850-432-7768. You can call or text. And get this, today is no difference because of the fact, you know that we are what? The 20-something days out from election 2024. November 5th will be here before you know it. And I am going to do every single thing I can possibly do to continue to encourage you, to continue to educate you on the things that are utterly important to us and why you should make sure you do not miss the opportunity to vote. And today, like I said, it's no difference. I do have in the studio with me today, she's a volunteer right here. And I tell you, I have, Samantha, we met a while back. And I want to welcome you and thank you for getting up to come in to talk with us today.
Yes.
Because it is so close and we've got so many things online that we just got to encourage the people to educate them more to make sure that their voices are heard. Thank you for getting up.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
But of course, I mean, you know, I was reading in some of the stuff that I was doing, see all the stuff that you do. You work with Alabama, Florida, everywhere. I mean, you're doing such great work. And of course, you're volunteering with Harris 2024.
Yes.
And but one thing I want to find out, I want to talk about the women part of this.
Sure.
Okay. Women we got a strong voice in this, right? And I believe with the women, how can we just continue to encourage them that their vote is going to be a powerful determining factor in this upcoming election? That's what I see. Am I on the right path?
I think you absolutely are, and I think that you're reading, you're reading the room.
Right.
The reality of it is that with Kamala Harris at the top of our ticket, who is so committed to issues that affect women, know, and our community and the folks, that, all the other, when you really boil it down, to places like Florida where we live right now, there are issues on the ballot as well related to women and our ability to exercise our healthcare rights.
That's right.
Here in the state.
That's right.
So, folks don't really realize that, but we're talking about something incredibly important to millions of people, not just in Florida, but across the country.
Right.
And, electing the first, woman president is incredible. I mean, it's historic, and it doesn't matter if you're in the left, the right, the center, if you've ever voted.
Exactly.
This is a historic election.
Yes, it is.
And it brings incredible opportunity.
Yes, it does.
A candidate who is the opportunity candidate, right?
Exactly.
That's what she's about.
So. And when you say that, this is making history because I tell you, in my lifetime, I never thought I'd see this. And the fact of it is, I know this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we got to encourage people. Don't sit there and try to find a way not to.
Oh, right.
Because I hear so much of, well, I don't really. Okay, come on. What is it that you can't see? How is it so hard for you to comprehend what you see? Let me say this, and I want to reiterate this every single day. I have invited from both sides. I've invited, did not accept. But then, therefore, I'm going on where I can continue to talk about what needs to be talked about. Sure. That seat has been open for anybody that I could get to come in and let's talk about it. Then tell me why I should or shouldn't. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, that conversation's so important.
It is.
And I think that, we need more of that conversation.
Right.
Because folks tend to get in their camp on this side, get in their camp on that side. And at the end of the day, I am sure of one thing. We have more in common than we ever could have that divides us.
I agree.
And so there are ways that we can work together. We can build community. We can continue to connect the dots for folks.
Right.
And understand that good public policy involves all the public, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
And see, that's the message I'm trying to convey. And I don't, because what I try to encourage everybody to do here daily is to do this. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you to exercise your right. I'm asking you to exercise your right. Do not allow anybody or anything to take away the right that you have to be heard. I often hear people, Stephanie, talking about, why won't they do this? Or how? You've got the power to change it.
Absolutely.
Because that's by casting your vote. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is, if you do not vote, I don't want to hear you complain.
Well, I tell people all the time, democracy is not, it's not a spectator sport.
Right.
You've got to get out there and get involved, and to be a part of something, and to be engaged in it means to literally pull your sleeves up and get involved.
Exactly.
You can go to KamalaHarris.com and you can register, to volunteer. You can phone bank. You can go out and knock doors. You can do. There's a million different things that you can do to help out.
Exactly.
I absolutely think, though, one of the things that folks don't really talk about enough is, how important this election really is.
It is.
I mean, it's hard to understate how important this election is.
I agree.
And how important our coalitions are to deliver a win for us with, Vice President Harris. I think having gone to the national convention, and it was an incredible experience, and one that I will always be grateful for. It was amazing. It was it was incredibly enlightening. Beautiful speakers. We had Michelle Obama talking about getting out there and doing something.
Just do something. Yeah. Do it,
It was incredible, incredible. And President Obama, and really, all of those folks out there who have really reiterated to us how important. We hear all the time, this is the most important election of your lifetime.
That's right.
I mean, this
Think
really
about
is.
It is, my friends. It is.
It truly is. And but having people get involved and getting engaged, and active in the community, and building the coalitions we need to bring change that collectively represents the coalition in our communities, right?
Absolutely.
So it's really, I tell people all the time, this election is not about the left or the right.
Right.
It's about right and wrong.
Come on, I like that.
And it's just so true, So I think most of us understand intuitively that there's something that we've got going on in our communities that sort of has been in the past, has been something that people were trying to figure out. It's like, which way are we going? What are we going to do?
Right.
These folks are going this way. But this is a real clear choice.
It is.
It's a real clear choice.
It is.
And so you've got one candidate who has a vision of, hope for a future and opportunity, an economy that includes everybody, wanting to build entrepreneurship, wanting to empower folks who traditionally were not part of that fabric. As a small business owner, to me, it is incredibly important to see women get out there and to actually, to see those things happen in our communities. That's what builds our community.
Exactly. And it's amazing to see, whereas even with the fact now, even for homeowners, people who want to buy a home, look at the things that are being proposed by people who have never owned a home, that you can buy your home now with help.
That's it.
I mean, there's so many reasons. This is why we try to educate people on the things that they don't know.
That about the first-time home buyer program.
Yes.
Where $25,000 for your down payment assistance for first-time home buyers, which is incredible to have that opportunity, because it's the need is there for affordable housing.
Believe it is.
It's front and center.
It is.
Many of us really understand that we've got to make that a reality for folks, and that can't be just talk. It's got to be reality.
No doubt.
And she has a plan for that.
Oh yes, she does. Not just a concept.
No, it's a real plan. She's ready to roll day one.
I mean, I gotta say something, Stephanie. I love her chucks. She's got the chucks with the pearls already in them. Oh wow, they are so sharp. I'm just sitting.
Can you see them?
Oh no, but there they are.
Yes. I wore these at the national convention, and they're definitely they're kind of my favorites. I have a few pairs, but
they already got the pearls. That's what I love.
They have my pearls on them. I love that. They're really fun. And we all were comparing different folks with their different chucks. It was just exciting, and we see women all the time and their pearls and their chucks. It's like it's like a quiet symbol of what kind of tacitly saying, yes, I'm all in. So.
But you know what I've also noticed? I've noticed men are wearing more chucks now.
I know.
Men are wearing the chucks.
They really are. They really are. I'm like, it's some of us though are we're a little bit more blingy and excited, as you can see. This was also from the national convention, which that was a really empowering time. Things happened so quickly, and we were all of a sudden going 100 miles an hour, and the energy was just so incredible, and we felt that back here.
Exactly.
I mean, the Harris office here in Pensacola is
it opened up last weekend, right?
Yes. Well, formally it did, but they've been doing the work now for months, and it's just unbelievable to see the energy, not just, with the Harris campaign alone, but also with our local Democratic Party.
Of course.
And all of the folks that have been involved. There are people who are never been involved in politics in their life who've gotten involved in this. And that's what, when you see that, that's really what this is about.
I tell you, and the energy that we're talking about that you feel that's so positive, I know that people are tired of all of this negativity, the rhetoric that goes on every single time you open your mouth, because it's not about that. And I think that speaks volumes about you. That person who's using those words every single time, it's the same thing. It weighs you down so much you don't even want to hear it.
The negativity.
Because it's so negative.
Yeah.
And there was a gentleman who called, left a message for me on my on the voicemail for here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say your name, but he was talking some positive things, and he was really upset.
Okay.
But the fact of it is, I don't want you to be upset. It's like President Obama say, don't vote, just go vote. I mean,
go vote.
Don't get up and say, just go vote.
That's right.
And that's how you're going to make a difference right there.
Take action.
Take action and do that, because there's a lot of work. Because you know Jewel.
Yes,
Canada,
I do.
She was here with me last week.
Oh, I love Miss Jewel.
Oh, boy, she is something else. And I mean, the work that she's doing, the work that all of you doing, everybody needs to join hands so that we can get this done, because we've only got a short period of time.
Right.
I mean, we got to stop the talk now. It's time for action.
It really is. The windows, we only had, short window
when
to start
she
with.
Announced it, right.
Mm-hmm. And so we've really been going sort of like a freight train, just going. And if you haven't gotten on board, you hadn't gotten involved yet, it's never too late.
That's right.
We need volunteers every day, people who want to get out there, who want to help us go and talk to voters and make sure they know how important this election is. And it's not, I tell people all the time, yes, it's incredibly important, the top of this ticket, but we have wonderful candidates going up and down the ticket.
Yes, we do.
And those folks have really, they deserve support and our help. And part of this is, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's a team effort, right?
I agree.
So, I mean, we're working very hard to get their message out, and that's why that direct voter contact is so important.
Right.
Like Chair Freed was here just last weekend, and one of the things that she made so clear is that actually getting out, knocking on doors, and talking to voters. We all know that that's how you actually get your message out and actually deliver votes.
Of course.
And so we've been going door to door, and we've got teams going out all over the whole city. So no matter where you live in the county, the region, if you want to get involved, again, go to KamalaHarris.com. You can sign up there, and there's a spot for you, to get
Absolutely.
involved. Yeah.
With what you're running into, I'm out there and I talk with a lot of people. Do you still hear that separation where people are undecided? I'm coming to tell you now from the men's side.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's so much that, I don't understand why, I don't know what she's done. What has she done? She's been the vice president, people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Do you run into anything like that?
In business, I talk to folks that have different views.
Right.
And I see, and I like that, because I think, I think the conversation is incredibly important, right? For me, there is no, it's so crystal clear. And so sometimes in our own echo chamber, it's hard for us to hear or see or even understand how somebody could think differently.
Right.
But people have different life experiences. They have different positions, different places in life. And so one of the things I have heard in the business community, folks asking, well, do you think that, Kamala will be good for business?
Right.
I can't imagine anybody being better for business.
Thank you. Did you not hear what she's saying?
Right. I mean, it's just, and especially for entrepreneurs. And, that's small business is the life force of our communities. And understanding that and empowering those businesses to, have more opportunity to bring more folks on board, to do more training, those things, are often missed. And so I think being able to make that clear that this is something that this administration is going to be dedicated to and committed to, I think is very important to helping some of those undecided folks. I also think people who are not terribly political, some of us are very
I understand totally what you're saying.
Right. And so folks who are not terribly political sometimes just don't really know what, I hear this sometimes, all politicians are the same. Not in this situation. This is not a 1960. No. This is not where we are. We are not a George Bush, for example. I mean, when Dick Cheney has come on board, supporting Kamala Harris,
Yes.
and Bernie Sanders has come on board supporting
Yes,
Kamala
I mean,
Harris.
chills me through me. That spoke volumes right there. You know?
I mean that is both ends of the spectrum. So I think that's a really bold statement, and being able to let folks know that's how important this election is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to encourage you. We're having a conversation today. I'd like for you to be a part of the conversation, whether it's yay or nay. Let's talk about it. Oh, we have a phone call. Okay. Let's talk about it so we can, I think discussion might open your eyes on something you may think another way. Let's see who with us first thing this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. This is Ardelia.
Good morning, Ardelia.
Okay. Whenever I'm out and about with my Eric Martin T-shirt, Kamala Harris T-shirt, and my silks and my pearls, people that don't look like me always compliment me on what I have on, right?
Okay, you said the people that don't look like you?
Yeah.
Okay, go, keep going.
But I say thank you, and I say, well, does she have your vote?
Good question.
And they will say, yes, put a thumbs up, or maybe a real silent yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So what do you think it is? They're afraid to say who they're standing for?
I think so. I think so.
Are they afraid of good change?
I don't know. I said, well, as long as you vote, that's all we want.
For real?
I have found, some of the areas similar to that. Yeah.
But
now,
they
what else you say, Miss Ardelia?
They compliment me, because it is a cute outfit.
I love it.
But they say, I like your outfit.
Oh, wow. We got to get above that whisper to say, because
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's because of the fact that when you vote, that's nobody's business but yours. You don't have to be afraid to make a decision to vote for who's going to be better for the country.
That's right.
It's what I'm saying to you. Miss Ardelia keeps spouting your pearls and your chips.
That's what I'm saying.
I am a woman today.
All right then, Ardelia. Thank you, love.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Everybody, we're talking about what should be talked about. It's a conversation that should be open to everybody. And I don't care what side you're on, be a part of the conversation. You just may get something that you didn't know in the beginning. Stay with us now, because we're going to be back talking with my girl Stephanie on what's happening out on the campaign trail. She's a volunteer that's doing a lot of work. But let me do this first of all. Let me say thank you to all of those who are partnering with me. You know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Coming up on the 26th, it is the Making Strides Walk, where we are recognizing those who have suffered with this disease and raising monies for them. I want to thank Sonny's Barbecue for being there with us. Rise City Church is a partner with us. Ron Helms, thank you, Ron, District 4, and as well as Stallworth Insurance. Thank you so much for partnering with your Sunshine as we make a difference coming up October 26th. Stay close. We'll be back with more.
My father was from Mexico. He had me in this country. My mother, her side of the family was a combination of German, Russian, Polish, typical American story. Because of their, wanting to come to this country for a better life, one of the biggest parts of that was having a vote. I live in this country. One of my most important rights is the right to cast a vote. You're an American citizen. You have the right to vote. Take advantage of that right. Affect change around you that you want to see. My name's Eduardo Lara, and I am strongly encouraging you to just vote.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
When I saw the tumor on the MRI, my first thought was, am I going to be able to see my daughter again? The doctors knew if I did not end my pregnancy, I would lose my baby, I would lose my life, and my daughter would lose her mom. Florida has now banned abortion, even in cases like mine. Amendment 4 is going to protect women like me. We have to vote yes.
Let's work together to end breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Blab TV and Sunshine's Corner, we're joining this year's annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, and we want you to join us. Making Strides is happening on Saturday, October 26th, Seville Square, 8 a.m. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. And we can't end breast cancer without you. I'll see you there.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. Let me say something, guys. I got to do this. You know, I'm one to say when I mess up. I don't know why I called Samantha Stephanie.
But I answered anything, so it's okay.
It's not. It's Samantha, okay? And listen, she is a member of the DNC, okay? Let me stop that, make my correction. I won't call you that anymore.
No worries.
Samantha.
No worries. As long as I'm getting called, that's good, because then we can talk about the things that matter.
Well, tell us about all that you do. Tell us about Samantha.
Okay, well, just briefly, I live in Walton County, which is in Congressional District 1.
Right.
I've been very active in working in politics basically my entire adult life. That's what I studied in college. And so since then, you know, I've been either working in electoral politics or I've been working on campaign-based issues, you know, like
of course,
different issues. And probably the most engaging thing about Florida when we first moved here after Hurricane Katrina, I'm originally from Louisiana, we came here, and one of the things that I learned was that there were a lot of strong views in Florida that were a lot different than where I came from. I mean, I pulled up to the courthouse to go register to vote, and there was a rebel flag flying over the courthouse, and I was floored. I was like, what the hell? Where have I landed? You know, where are we?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And so I really began to learn a lot about the electorate. And one of the things that I know, you know, having worked in a small county and run campaigns here from cradle to grave for all kinds of different races at the state, local, you know, federal level, one of the things that's very clear is that people are hungry for change here.
I believe so.
You know,
I hope so.
And we're seeing those changes happen. I was elected to the Democratic National Committee, which is a statewide position, but I'm the first woman from this region over on this side of the Panhandle ever to be elected. So, well, that's what I'm saying, because it gives us the opportunity to bring more information, more resources, more folks, to get people engaged in this process. And so I'm excited about that. We're seeing that happen across the region. We're seeing a higher level of visibility. In 2020, we did something incredible, which was that, you know, all over Florida, it was a tough year for us electorally. It really was.
Exactly.
There were two places that beat the margins. And when I say that, I mean their numbers went up from 2016 in the federal election.
Really?
President Biden, yes. And those two places were Duval County, and then, of course, here in Congressional District 1, Escambia County being one of them.
Really?
Yes.
Change is coming.
It's on its way.
It's
and I mean, I tell people all the time, you got to crawl before you walk.
Exactly.
And so
but I want to get off my knees, stop crawling.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
Exactly. And you know what? You know, Samantha, it's like we were talking about, I keep hearing Miss Ardelia's statement in my head. It's just ringing. That when she's out and she's talking and doing her volunteer work, everybody's saying, oh yeah, you look good, I like what you're wearing, I like what you're saying. But when I ask you who you're standing for, it's like you're embarrassed or afraid to say.
Speak up.
To speak up and say who it is. Why is it that we are so afraid? Well, I don't want Sam to know who I'm voting for, but I'm going to vote. But you got my support. But isn't that what we're talking about? That it's your right, that who you decide to, but don't be ashamed to stand up. I fear that thing. We also talked about, we more easily talked about it in the Black community.
Yeah.
And than it is in the white community.
Right. And I think part of that is, you know, there's a lot of folks who, like, you know, when you are outnumbered politically in a community, and as things are beginning to change, I mean, I'm going to be direct with the...
Please do.
With Donald Trump, there's been violence, you know. They've had a lot of really crazy stuff. I mean, there have been insurrections and, you know, all kinds of things that have been very real. And you can't deny that.
That's right.
Whether it's initiated there or a result of that or whatever is attached to that.
Exactly.
So people they have fear. I've been at rallies, I've been at events where people were threatened, and these are things that are very concerning.
Most
I mean, there's been violence attached to like some of his rallies and stuff like that. So I mean, we really want to tone that down and bring this is a debate. It's not it's going to be settled at the ballot box, and not any other way.
Exactly.
And so as long as we continue to stay focused on that and remind folks that your voice is that's a tool.
That's a tool, yeah.
How you let your voice be heard. And some people are comfortable, speaking out about everything, and some people aren't. But I think that when there are more people who do, like I'll wear like my Harris T-shirt into Publix, and I'll often have people who will say, gosh, you're brave to do that here, and I'll go, not really.
That came up, but we got a caller waiting. Hold on, caller. But it was also mentioned that people are afraid to even put her signs in their yards.
Well, they're not too afraid, because I tell you what, we put out tens of thousands of signs across between here, Escambia County and Leon County. All I can tell you is people that, were reaching out to us, we can't get enough signs. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Derek, I'm waiting on mine. Anyway.
I have one. I'll give you one before I leave.
But let's go to the phones. Thank you for holding the caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Miss Samantha. Hi. I just wanted to say that I am enjoying the show this morning. I want to thank Miss Samantha for all the work that she has been doing out in the community, and and all the work that she's going to do. I see that she's going to be a great force for Florida, and I just want to give her props now, her flowers now, while she's on the show and while we have this platform to do that. I want to mention that I've been watching on Twitter now that there's areas that can go ahead and do early voting, and one place is called The Village. If you know anything about The Village is a big political place down in South Florida, and all those elderly people was in their go-kart, and they was all lined up down the road voting for Miss VP Kamala Harris. Yesterday, they were showing videos of it, and it's just a testament to who she are and what she's going to be able to do when the change does happen.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much for your call. We're about to address what you talked about. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
For what y'all doing.
All right, thank you.
What a nice caller.
Right.
Oh my gosh, these are the folks that lift us up and carry us through this. We're going to get this done.
That's right. Tell us about the village.
Well, the villages are traditionally, they talk about two areas in Florida that are really red, and the villages and the Panhandle. Okay. And so I'm here to tell you that, like the villages, the Panhandle is getting some of the same attention. I don't know if you've noticed, but the Harris campaign had a huge sign waving event that I attended last Friday, and there was over 100 people right in front of Blue Cross over there. Right on. Yeah, it was just unbelievable.
Off airport?
Yeah, it was just unbelievable, the number of people that were there. And it was, there was one gentleman who said, I might be a Republican, but I'm not stupid. I'm voting for Harris. I was like, but that energy, you're seeing that here, but you're seeing it also in places that are traditionally red, like the villages, which is like a very much a planned community, right? Like, older white folks, a lot of it's predominantly white. And so, it's to see hundreds of golf carts lined up with Harris Walls, signs. I mean, it's like that energy is the energy that we're seeing all over the country, all over the state. And here, again, in Pensacola, it is a undercurrent that has been very real.
Absolutely, I can tell you.
When you have hundreds of people that show up to volunteer for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and all of our down ballot candidates, that is on a weekly basis. We just haven't seen that since President Obama.
Exactly. So. And the fact of it is there's something, I was listening to President Obama the other day when he was out on the campaign, and he's just a positive man. he's just so positive.
He's the greatest orator of my life.
Yes, he does. Yes. And I'll say this to, and I really want to encourage, if you are a Republican, I encourage you to call.
Please.
Don't just wait till inbox me. Call me. Let's talk about it. Because of the fact, I want to hear what you're saying, why you don't want to support.
Sure.
Let me hear that. Let's talk about that. It's okay. I encourage everybody. I want to reiterate this as well. You're going to see so many different ads running on this show during this time. You're going to see so many different things aired on this show. But now, let me tell you something. I invite everybody with their PSAs, be it if it's something that you may not believe in. But look, this is a TV show. Whereas people, if they want to air it, that doesn't mean that I stand behind it.
Right.
It's the fact that it's being aired.
Right.
So I want to invite everybody. So I'm not just excluding everything to only the Democratic side. I'm reaching out to the Republican side. I get so many other people that will inbox me. They won't say it. Don't be shy. Say it out loud.
I think it's incredibly important to have free speech and to have the dialogue and to talk about the best ideas. And
exactly.
I don't know if you've heard, but I mean, Kamala Harris is going to have a Republican in her
exactly
cabinet because she believes that as well that
that's
the dialogue.
Right.
You know, she said, "I won't be the president for just the folks that vote for me. I'll be the president for everybody."
Everybody.
You know, and I think that's incredibly important. I think it's important that we return to civility in our political process. I think that that's something that we're seeing, and I think that participation is the best way to do that.
I agree. I agree. And what I want people to realize, it's time out for the separation. It's time out for all this negativity that you see.
Yeah.
It's time out for the name calling.
Yes.
It is time. That is so elementary to me.
Yes.
I mean, it just causes me to cringe, Samantha, when I hear it.
Yes.
Even all the ads. Oh, this is a liar. Okay. My mother always said that the dog that barking, you better watch out.
That's it. That's it.
You know
That's
what I mean?
it.
Because something about that dog that keep
why
barking.
focus on your opponent, whichever side you're on?
Yeah.
To me, it's about what are your plans and why are they the best plans for the folks who need to hear and be a part of, you know, this next administration.
Exactly.
You know, if you've got kids in elementary school, you want to know, how do you feel about, you know, how do you feel about high schools?
Yes.
You know, what are you going to do to help our teachers? What are you going to do to build out technology for the next decades? You know, how are you going to see that communities that have those resources continue to get them, and those that don't, that we build and strengthen them?
Right.
What is the infrastructure going to look like?
Most certainly.
I mean, these are important things that, I mean, they might be a little bit, boring watching the paint dry on the wall, but at the end of the day, when you need those resources, when you need good roads, when you need protections from hurricanes on your property, when you need to find affordable housing, when you know that, you know, we can do better in many different ways, all the different things that we're talking about, you know, but probably in this election, again, not to go back and
let's do it.
But I just got to say this as a woman. And as a woman who has a son and a daughter who are 3 years apart, I tell people this all the time, you know, when they were born, they had equal rights under the law.
That's right.
But today,
look at this.
My daughter has fewer rights than my son with her health care. And there's just something fundamentally un-American about that because she's a woman.
Exactly.
And, you know, and I think that we need to look at that because that sets a precedent. It tells a story, you know, and I think that, you know, as, you know, Kamala Harris says, and I'm just going to say it, we won't go back.
No, we're not going back.
We won't go back.
No way we're going back.
We've got to do, women, if you are out there, you show up and you vote.
That's
you know, it's incredibly important. Voting to support Amendment 4 is incredibly important because it asserts our rights to health care.
Most certainly.
Wherever you are on that position. I mean, I don't talk in great detail about my personal beliefs because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I agree. Now, that's the point I like to make. It's not that we're talking about our personal.
I mean, we don't talk about how you feel about getting an appendicitis and getting or having your appendix removed.
Right.
I mean, your private health care decisions are yours.
That's right.
They're not the government's.
Not at all.
So,
and ladies, we got to remember that.
That's it.
When you're going out to cast your vote. And believe me, do not allow anything or anybody to take that right away from you. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. From you. I say that because it is utterly important. And I want to reiterate, we are so close. We are so close, just weeks away from an election that's going to go down in history. Believe me, it will. And I want to encourage you to do the right thing. Well, now, about to go into break. We're coming back. We've got more things to talk about because I've been writing notes from other things that the callers even said that I want to talk about even more. But let me again say thank you to all of those who are walking with us coming up on October the 26th there, making strides downtown Pensacola. We're going to be at that Seville Square. Sonny's Barbecue, thank you. Rise City Church, Stallworth Insurance, and of course my good friend Ron Helen from District 4. And just show up and let's make a difference. Because this is a deadly disease. It may not affect you personally, but you may know somebody that it has affected. So let's come together to show our support for those who's being affected by cancer. Stay close. And I'm going to give away today a little bit before we come back. I'm going to give away tickets also because the fair is coming up, and I guess they want to go get a candy apple. But stay close. I'm going to give away tickets to the fair here in just a little bit on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more.
I remember the doctor handing me a baby boy that was blue, and I just held him because he was so cold. Due to the abortion ban, I was being forced to carry the baby from 23 weeks all the way to 37 weeks. And knowing that my son was going to die.
Having to watch your wife be in pain and continue to tell her to keep going, that everything's gonna be okay, knowing it's not. That was the hardest thing.
Government had no right to do that to my family. This ban is torture.
You're not going to vote. Seriously? Do you want your rights taken away? Seriously? You say that you're not going to vote, but you do? Well, think about it. If you don't, you've already lost them. Let me tell you something. If you do not vote, then you're giving up your rights. Think about it. I just need you to just vote. And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. We're talking about Sunshine's Corner. Here is where we have the conversation that some people just, she's talking about that? Cringe. No, yes, I am talking about that because I believe the more we talk and educate each other on things that we are uneducated on, where we are thinking and not sure, this is how you find out. This is how you collectively put ideas together. And let me hear your side. We can come up with a better solution. We're not here to start any separation. We want to bring it together. Now, Samantha and I were talking about voting, the early voting, and the non-trust in early voting. The mail-in voters is untrust.
Well, so there's some, we hear that sometimes that there's a lot of rhetoric on one side talking about vote by mail, and it's interesting because we have so many military families and we have so many folks that, are older folks and folks who just because they want to make sure their votes count, they want to vote by mail. And a lot of folks don't realize that you can actually track your ballot. So if you've requested a vote by mail ballot, once you get it, you fill it out and return it. You can then verify that it's been received and processed at the supervisor of elections. So right here in Escambia County, you can certainly do that. So that is one way. And then, of course, we've got early voting where you go in and vote before, November 5th. Mm-hmm. There'll be early voting locations, and you can get those, of course, online as well with supervisor elections. But,
595-3900, you can call.
So the most important thing I can tell you is whatever your plan is, have a plan. This is how I'm going to make sure my vote counts. Uh-huh. And go forward with that. Take action with it. Make sure the people in your neighborhood are doing that. Make sure your family is voting.
Right.
This is the election that you don't want to sit out.
No doubt.
You don't want to look the other way.
Exactly. I've got to share this too because an acquaintance of mine phoned me day before yesterday, and I almost screamed in my car. She said, I had to call and tell you by watching and listening to what you've been talking about. I have a friend that had a felon. He was a felon. But she said, he was saying, oh, no, I'm not going to go get it. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. She said, but I just called to tell you, he's registered now. He's going to vote in this election. She stayed on him till he got that corrected.
I love it.
But you see, and I'm telling you, it's too late to register now. But the fact of it is that people are hearing what we're saying.
That's right.
And therefore, they're taking that initiative to go ahead and vote. This is why we want to reiterate the fact that don't just sit around now. Early voting starts next week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Next week, get together, go vote. We're planning a Chucks and Pearls walk.
There you go. It's like there'll be so many different get out the vote efforts going on, in the region, and you want to be a part of that. You want to make sure that if it's in your faith community or if it's, with people in your club or group that you're a part of, however you're involved, or if it's just you and your family. But make sure you have a plan and you execute that plan to vote, because a lot of times I talk to people that go, wait, the elections when?
That's right.
Oh, I got to be in such and such. I can't.
Come on.
Go. There's so many opportunities to vote, and you can't be a part of this whole effort if you're not getting out there and getting that vote in. So.
Exactly. I was talking to a person yesterday, and I asked them. I said, "Are you ready to vote?" But I'm not happy with either one. I said, "Tell me why." Explain to me. Well, I don't. I said, no, you're not telling me why. You're going around what I asked you. And I'm seeing that because of the fact that I believe we are not taking the time to do the research, to go out. All you got to do is listen, watch. If you have not seen a plan from a person from before, and now here's I have a concept of a plan, and you're still saying you don't know what to do, or what. And what really gets to me, Samantha, what has she done? What has she done?
You're talking about the most qualified person running for the highest office of the country. And what I can tell you is she has served at the local, the state, and the federal level.
Yes.
She's been at the right hand of the President of the United States for the last 4 years.
Exactly.
She is the most prepared person for this job.
Exactly.
And so there's just no way to deny that. She comes from a law enforcement background, which most folks, not everybody knows Kamala's background, but she has an incredible background, and her public service record to be elected as a woman, as a black woman in the largest, electoral state in the country, and served in that capacity as their attorney general. I mean, that you have to understand that is an incredible undertaking. I mean, this lady has met when those occasions, rising to the occasion, doing the work, she has met that goal. I mean, an extraordinary person,
no doubt,
an extraordinary candidate, and she's going to be an incredible president.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, I mean, yes, I am so excited about having been a part of this with her. When I first met Kamala Harris, the first time.
I got that picture of you. I put it up.
Okay, great. Well, I've met her several times, but the first time that I met her, she was running in a huge crowd of candidates back in 2020.
Right.
And it was down in Miami at a debate. And I attend stuff all over the state. And so I'm down there at this debate, and I had my daughter with me. And we were talking, all the candidates were there, I mean, you had Beto, and you had, I mean, you literally had everybody who was there, Elizabeth Warren and, Joe Biden.
Oh, wow.
So all the folks that were running in this were there. Pete Buttigieg, I think, was there. And, it was an incredible group of folks that were there. And so, we immediately went and talked to Kamala Harris because I just always really loved her when she was in the Senate, and her role as the only woman in the Senate.
Exactly.
I mean, it was just incredible. And so we were talking about, her experiences and as an attorney. And my daughter at that point says, to her, she says, "You're the reason I'm going to law school."
Oh.
And I was like, "You're going to law school?" I was like, "Wow, you've made this decision?" She goes, "Yes, Mom, I didn't, I've read so much about her. Do you understand?" She was telling me that she was in this race. And so she was a bit early supporter of Kamala Harris. And so obviously I was as well. And so, but she was so down to earth talking about her daughter, her stepdaughter, and just sharing these things. And it's like, this is somebody, she's one of us.
That's right.
She's one of us.
Like, I say that again, she's one of us because the fact she does not put herself as above.
Right.
She's right there. She lets you know.
Yes.
And I love the fact how they show the fact that with a college.
Yeah.
She's an AKA.
Yes.
I mean, whole 9 yards.
Yes. I mean, it's incredible, her reach and the different, communities that she's been a part of, and she's, been, she talks about her parents and, how she worked at McDonald's.
Yes.
And that could be anybody here in Pensacola.
Exactly.
It could be somebody right now, who's showing up for their shift.
That's right.
And has ideas and dreams. Mm-hmm. That's who we are about to elect.
Exactly.
And somebody who did the work and got there.
Most certainly. And I want to say this too, because I can't get Miss Adelia out of my head. How is the fact that people are really somewhat embarrassed to say, or afraid, I won't say embarrassed.
Yeah.
To acknowledge.
Nervous.
Nervous for this candidate that's running, that's really, really qualified.
Live your truth is what I
mean,
say.
Exactly. And I can say that because as we were talking off screen, there's so many things that I've experienced here that I'm glad that there's about to be some change.
There you go.
Because of the fact there are people that I know that have really shown me their true colors.
Yes.
When I didn't think it was like that, but it has come out. I'm talking about people that I've worked with. It's a hidden agenda. It's done so sly. I can say that. I'm breaking it down to layman's terms. But the fact of it is, what we see now, and I'm hoping that everybody that's viewing us today, and maybe some of those who, you know who I'm talking about, that it does not have to be that way. You do not have to be that way at all. Don't say that I want change, but your actions are showing me you want to go back.
Right.
You want to go back.
Right.
You
Well,
want
the only way we can go back is if people don't act.
Exactly.
So people own this. If you want to move us all forward,
yes,
you have that choice.
Exactly.
And it's real simple. It is an absolute right as an American to cast your vote.
Exactly.
And the choice you make is going to have long, long implications for you and your family.
No doubt.
And I think that this is, when we talk about things, it's hard because I get it. I understand that some people are really stuck in a place where they
some younger people are like that too.
I've not encountered that, but
yes, it is.
It's stunning.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because I'll say because there was a person I thought that was really open, but I found out that he was not, and it was really heartbreaking, and I couldn't even get this person to talk to me.
So you couldn't have the conversations.
I could not. I reached out to talk to me.
Yeah.
Won't talk to me.
Well, I think that mentality of being afraid to sort of get engaged in a conversation because it's been so much vitriol.
Yep.
Okay. I think that is not good for our communities. I believe it's not good for our state. And I think one of the most empowering things that we can do, and I think one of the things we have to encourage everyone to do, is to have the conversation and also be okay, to agree to disagree with someone.
Yeah, it's okay to do that. It's okay.
I actually had a neighbor who told me that she was a lesbian for Trump.
Right.
And I was like, what? Who?
What?
I was like, huh? Because he's not for you.
Hello.
I was like,
he's not.
He's not. I said, he's not for you. He doesn't support your,
anything that they do.
Right. And so I was like, that's just really strange. But I was listening. And it turned out that she was telling me some things that were just completely incorrect.
Exactly. See, and a lot of things they don't have the knowledge of.
Just totally incorrect.
I tell you, she just keep telling me, got to go into break again. But listen to this. We're going to talk more about this because even with the LGBT community, we ask it to, because Jeff Hay, my good friend, anybody, Mike, anybody, please, we can have this conversation. Yes. Let's feel free to have this conversation.
Absolutely.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yes.
We're going to be back with more with Samantha as we talk about the upcoming election in 2024. Just a few weeks out right here on Sunshine's Corner. I'll tell you what I want to do. I did promise you because the fair starts on Thursday. Jen's going to take the first 3 callers. No, excuse me, Jen. The first 2 callers, give them a pair of tickets to go to the Pensacola Interstate Fair coming up on Thursday. And it's all coming from your sunshine right here on Sunshine's Corner.
As we come upon this election, it's important for everybody to get out and vote. It is critical. Voting is the cornerstone of our democracy. It lends a voice to everyone, to the people, to make sure that America is the society that we want it to be, that everybody wants it to be. If you don't get out and vote, you really don't have anything to complain about. My name is Troy Rafferty, and I want to encourage everybody to just vote.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
Florida's near-total abortion ban outlaws abortion before many women even realize they're pregnant. The ban means many survivors of rape, incest, and human trafficking will be forced to carry their attacker's child against their will. The ban forces doctors to delay critical medical care until their patient is on the brink of death or face felony charges. This ban puts the health, lives, and futures of women in our state at risk. Get the truth about Florida's near-total abortion ban.
Get your tickets now to EntreCon 2024. You'll learn how to turn your dreams of starting a business into a reality. Current business owners will learn the secrets to making your business more successful. With 31 speakers, you'll have access to a diverse range of experts, actionable strategies, and dynamic networking to help you with your path to greatness. EntreCon 2024 is November 13th and 14th at 3 locations in downtown Pensacola. Get your tickets at EntreConPensacola.com. That's EntreConPensacola.com.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. I tell you, it is Wednesday. I can't believe this conversation is going so fast because you know what, Samantha? When we've got a good conversation, the clock seems to tick so fast, but we got so many points that we're going to cover.
Sure.
And I wish they could hear us talking off screen. But no, we have a whole nother show.
Yes, we do.
I mean, because of the fact that we're talking something that's truth, and we want to encourage people to be a part of, and they want to volunteer, there are opportunities still. And all the stuff that you do, I just say, whew.
Yes,
I thought I run.
It's a lot, but you know what? It's how you bring change. We've got to build the infrastructure so that we can have the communities that can grow, and so it's sort of like we have growing pains right now, you know? And so we're seeing a lot of that, but we're recruiting folks, and you see some of the folks who are running up and down the ticket now. They're talking about real issues that affect people every day. The folks that are listening to the show right now, things that are real for them, and so you too often you hear people. It's such a out of touch, unrealistic idea. You talk about the economic impact. Talk about somebody's light bill.
Exactly.
Talk about the reality of what groceries are costing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And how we can work together to see that you've got more money in your pocket to buy groceries that aren't as expensive.
Exactly.
And so those things can happen. We can do that, but we do it when we work together. And so I just think that we're going through a time period where a lot of folks are starting to really realize that good public policy includes the public.
Exactly. And I think you said a mouthful right there. I think people are beginning to realize that, across the board. Even with, I don't care what side you're on, the D or the R, you're realizing times are tough right now. There's some things that got to change. And with the plan that's being put forth with us, with Vice President Harris, we're talking about all of these things that are going to be beneficial to help people.
Reducing healthcare costs is a huge piece of this. Seeing that we've got better coverages that, and more people. When you say affordable, insurance, that is something that's got to happen for folks. You know? And she's got a real plan to help make that happen, and to see that our healthcare sector gets the support it needs, that our care providers, people who are in the caring industry, she just released some information yesterday about our seniors and about her plan so that we can have more caregivers in the home and not put folks into retirement homes.
Exactly.
So people who want to stay in their house, through the end of their life. And so it's part of, Medicare, the ability to have more professionals in that sector. So she'll be training more resources for training for folks there and empowering folks to have the everything they need to stay in their home.
Exactly.
Seniors don't want to have so much uncertainty. They don't want to live in fear of Social Security and Medicare being cut. And that's one of the things, that we hear too much from people like Rick Scott and stuff like. He had a plan for that, and that's just not ideal for most Americans.
Exactly.
I get, the 1% that live where he lives, maybe that might
but
be
that
ideal.
1%.
Yeah. But the rest of us.
That's right. We got to have what's affordable that we can afford, and then to live out the remainder of our life.
That we invested in too.
Exactly.
Social Security is not a handout.
No, it's not.
You've been paying for that all your life.
All of your life. So it's yours.
That's right.
It is yours. But the fact what we're trying to convey to you today, and I tell you, Samantha, I wish we had more time. Can you believe we're down to 3 minutes? I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, but when it's a great conversation, you're not watching the clock.
No.
And things that needs to be said.
We'll continue it. We'll keep going.
Yeah, exactly. And what we want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Please, if you would like to be a volunteer, if you want to find out more information, number one, continue to watch the show.
Yes.
And then you can go. Now, let's give them how they can get to the headquarters.
Yeah. Well,
Here in Pensacola.
8800 University Boulevard.
Right.
That is where our Kamala Harris headquarters is here. And you can go. They're open every day until 7 p.m.
Right.
Yeah, so from early in the day. And there's shifts, volunteer trainings and shifts going on all day. People going out in the community, knocking doors, getting information out to voters.
Okay.
And very strategic, effort that's happening there. And then there's for example, there's a sign waving again today. And you can go, if you go to Kamala Harris and you sign up for events, you'll be able to get all of the stuff that's happened locally in your zip code, wherever you are. So that's how you know where these things are going on.
When you said for sign waving today, so there are different areas, are different volunteers that come out to do it?
Yes. The person, the organizer, the head organizer, is Diane Crummell, and she is the one who is spearheading all of these things that are going on through the Kamala Harris campaign. So yes, I mean there's a tremendous effort for folks who want to get involved. There's a place for you wherever it is you'd like to do, however you feel like you can help. Believe me, we need you.
Absolutely. And everybody, if you did not call to get those tickets, I don't know, please call 850-432-7768. Get yourself a pair of tickets to take somebody out to the fair and get yourself a funnel cake. Or to get yourself a candy apple, right?
Yes.
A great big turkey leg. But listen, I want to thank the Pensacola Interstate Fair for working with me to give me those tickets so you can have them. And I want to say this to everybody. First of all, Samantha, thank you for all that you do.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
No, thank you for all that you do and the work that you're doing, spreading the great message that you're spreading. And we appreciate your hard work. And the community, what we want you to realize is this. It may sound repetitious, but sometimes repetitions work. You got to hear it over and over before it sticks. And that's what I'm going to do to make sure the message is conveyed that you need to have conveyed to you right here on Sunshine's Corner. I've got to get out of here. It's been a fantastic day. The weather is absolutely superb on the outside. Feels like the fall. And I want you to get out and enjoy it. Go out and do something to make a difference. But I'll leave you as I do every single day. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember now, if you keep God first, I guarantee you, making that decision is going to be easy and you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for another day of sunshine right here informing you on Sunshine's Corner, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Go out, get ready to vote. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you. We'll see you next time right here on Sunshine's Corner on Blab TV.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.